The following videos will provide students and their families information about the college application process. These videos were prepared and recorded by counselors at Washington Liberty High School. Students and families who have questions about the content of these videos or the college application process should speak with their school counselor.
Hi seniors, this is Ms. Wanzer and I'm going to be talking to you about transcripts and transcript request forms. You can have an unofficial copy of your transcript by reaching out to your counselor. Please review your transcript and bring any questions or concerns to your counselor as soon as possible. You have the option of eliminating middle school courses from your transcript, but you'll want to talk to your counselor before dropping because this can impact your diploma status. Keep in mind, when you eliminate a middle school course, the SOL attached also gets removed. Please check with your counselor to be certain you have all the SOLs needed before submitting your form. You can find the Request to Eliminate Middle School Grades form on the W&L Counseling website under Frequently Used Forms, and I'll show you at the end of the video. We have a 4.0 grading scale. And AP and IB and dual enrollment courses have an additional quality point calculated into your GPA. So an A is a 4.0, but if you take an AP, IB, or dual enrollment course, an A would be a 5.0, and it goes from there. So keep in mind that grading scale to the right of the screen. To submit your Request to Eliminate Middle School Grades form, you will want to have you and your parents sign and scan the document to your counselor, or take a clear picture and email the document to your counselor. Here is a copy of an unofficial transcript. This is exactly what your transcript will look like when you submit to colleges. It will have a review of all of your high school classes, including any middle school classes that count for high school credit, as well as your final grade in the course. Colleges will also see the senior year courses you have in progress. Keep in mind, if you take any classes through NOVA, those transcripts need to be sent separately. You are responsible for sending those transcripts. Your transcript will also show your SOL verified credits, which are 6 for a standard diploma and 9 for an advanced diploma. Colleges will also see the minimum credits required for graduation, which are 22 for a standard diploma and 26 for an advanced diploma. Keep in mind, you'll also be able to see your current GPA, which is calculated based on the scale on the previous slide, and also your class ranking. Any student with a 4.0 or above will be ranked as number 1. Lastly, I'll talk to you about the electronic transcript request form. It will look different this year since we are virtual. You need to be logged into your APS account to access this transcript request form. Transcript request forms are the only way your counselor knows to submit your official documents. You'll want to make sure that the college you are requesting is listed in Naviance under Colleges I'm Applying to, and listed in your Common App or Coalition depending on which application you're using. Requests should be made a minimum of 15 school days before your deadline, because this gives your counselor enough time to write you a thoughtful letter of recommendation, complete all necessary forms such as your school reports, and send your documents in a timely manner. Remember, you must turn in your brag sheet if you have not done so. Brag sheets are an important piece of your counselor writing your letter and highlighting your accomplishments. Please make sure your brag sheet is turned in before you complete your transcript request online. Keep in mind, your application does not need to be submitted before you request your transcript. Here is all of the ways that you can access this transcript request form, and I will show you how to find it on the W&L website. You'll want to go to Counseling, frequently used forms, and soon you can click here for the electronic transcript request form. You'll also be able to access your student brag sheet and parent brag sheet if you have not completed these already. Also, here is where you can find the request to eliminate middle school grades from your high school transcript. All of these forms are very important in the application process, so please make sure that you know where to find them. Lastly, I'll just review the transcript request form. This is what the form will look like. Make sure you are completing all required information on this form, and you're filling out this form for each college and university you would like to have a transcript and letter sent to. Keep in mind, the requests are 15 school days in advance, and you'll want to make sure that you've asked your teacher ahead of time, especially before requesting them on Naviance. The transcript request form will walk you through all of the required questions, so please go through this carefully before submitting your request.
Hi Generals, this is Ms. Gentile here to talk about a few critical steps that fall solely on you as the applicant during the college admissions process. First and foremost, you need to make sure that you get us a brag sheet. What is a brag sheet? A brag sheet is a form where you can tell us all about your involvement, challenges, and extracurriculars from the past 4 years. Now is not the time to be shy, so feel free to go on at length. There's one for you to complete, and there's one for a guardian to complete, and they can be found on your Canvas page or on the Washington Liberty Counseling homepage. These are typically only for counselor use. Sometimes teachers do ask for them, but teachers should really be writing more about your intellectual curiosity, participation in class, and preparation for college level work. These were due back in spring, but counselors will take them at any time, so do get them to us as soon as possible. We know you pretty well at this point, but we want to make sure that we're not leaving anything out and we're writing a robust letter as possible for you. Next up, we have an overview of some of the things that you're assuming responsibility for, and you should be doing this, not a parent, not a guardian, not an advisor. Remember, colleges often read applications regionally, so someone you're interfacing with could be the person who ultimately reads your application and makes an admissions decision later down the line on you. So how would it come across if you weren't the one advocating for yourself? So you will complete your college applications, pay attention to admissions deadlines, and the next one is super important. Please make sure that you're giving counselors at least a 15-day school notice or 3 weeks heads up on writing your letters of recommendation. We do really pour a lot of time and energy into your letters, and we need to make sure that we have enough time to write the best possible letter. You'll complete all transcript request forms in a timely manner. You'll follow, if you are going on a college visit this year, you'll make sure that you complete the procedures and let your assistant principal know that you're going to be out that school day. And you'll stay organized during this process. So I recommend setting up a spreadsheet of all the schools that you're applying to, what their due date is, how many letters of recommendation that they need, just so you have a checklist just to stay on top of everything. The other thing that you need to realize is your responsibility is making sure that you send any NOVA transcripts if you're a dual enrollment student and SAT scores. So to do that, you go to the College Board website and you can send it to all the various schools that you're applying to.
My name is Mr. Caldwell, and in this video, I'm going to discuss your school counselor's role and responsibilities in the college application process. This will include covering a couple topics such as Naviance, letters of rec, secondary school reports, how we get the information out to you, and college and career counseling. Counselors are responsible for sending all official documents through Naviance. A student's counselor is notified that the student has a deadline approaching when the student submits the transcript request form. The transcript request form should be submitted a minimum 15 school days before the college deadline to ensure that the counselor has enough time to complete the official documentation and write the letter of recommendation. So again, that's 15 school days and not just 15 calendar days. So please just be aware of that. Maybe set a reminder on your calendar, and we'll do the best job we can when we have the time that we need. Counselors will write a letter of recommendation if requested in the transcript request form. Students do not need to ask and request through Naviance like they do for teacher recommendations. Counselors use a brag sheet from student and parents to aid in writing this letter. The counselor letter will discuss who the student is as a person and go into depth to discuss activities that really make them who they are. This is also a great place to discuss any information about the student that may have negatively impacted their academic performance. It helps to put into perspective anything on a transcript that looks out of the ordinary. Some examples include a death in the family, a student injury, or illness. Students and families can discuss with their counselor if there's any sensitive information that you'd like to have shared. Part of the official documentation that the counselors are responsible for are called secondary school reports. This document describes a student's academic performance and has information such as grade point average, rank, and how they compare to the other peers in their graduating class. If you're applying to a school that's not on the Common App, please double check to make sure that they have their own SSR or if they're using a similar one. The Washington Liberty Counseling Department will disseminate any important information that you need to know about college admissions that we feel our students can benefit from. The main communication will be through the Naviance listserv, but we also use Remind text messages, Instagram, and Canvas messaging. So make sure you read the emails, especially from Ms. Catino and your counselors this year, very carefully.